Hi viewers, my name is Dr. Ashok Kumar Katta. So today topic for presentation on how to write management thesis with reference to HR aspects. So as we know very well, after completing the post graduation or after completing the MPhil, most of the students, scholars interested to join PhD program, and they will be selecting different topics depending on the real-time problems or what are the problems are there in the society, and they will be try to identify a good solution for those problems, and they want to share with the decision makers. And today's this video will be talking about HR aspects, and as well as we can focusing on little bit of marketing and finance and other domains also. So why throughout the world there is a huge demand for the research? What kind of attractive factors are there for the research? Especially when you talk about management thesis, as we know very well, there is no specific format for the PhD thesis. In India, we are having one kind of style. US will have one kind of style. UK will have another kind of style. As of now, we don't have a clear-cut picture. This is a structure should be required throughout the world. There is no specific format about for doing of research. Second important point is like less guidance, so that there is a most importance of the research. When you just have a look on that graduation or by the post graduation, your faculty or the class teacher will be with you, and they will be sharing with you material, doubts clarification, 24 into 7 they will be available with you. So usually what will happen, you will be freely to share your information. But when you go for the research PhD level, unknown area, you are going to identification of the facts. So mostly it is a new area for you, and as well as your supervisor also certain topics. You need to get more references, more guidances. Sometimes you will be having one guide, but whereas when you go for the field, the research, you will be getting the information from different sources. By that time, you will be having multiple guides to guide you to reach your destination. So in research, we will be having less guidance, so that we will be talk more importance of the research. Evaluation of PhD thesis also. In India, we are having one kind of pattern. In international, we'll have another kind of pattern. Already we have a discussion on that. Whereas after completing your PhD, you will be submitting your thesis. Usually your guide, what he will do, like national wide 3 members panel, internationally 3 members panel. Randomly the vice chancellor or the concerned authority will be choose 2 people. If it is a national evaluator, they will be sent the thesis. If it is a foreign evaluation, they will be sent the soft copy of your thesis. Now, what the examiners will do, and they will be first of all seeing how many literature reviews you have been collected related to your thesis. What kind of objectives you have. Objectives relatively, what is the methodology you have used it, and in the methodology what kind of tools you have been used for to test what is the result. So what I'm telling you, like India wide or the foreign countries, is a common platform where they will be seeing by the results. Of course, they will be saying about other formalities also, but this is 80 to 90 percentage important element. So, India versus foreign thesis, when it is going for the evaluation, you must be understand what is the standard of the thesis or maintaining in international level. For that, what you supposed to do? You need to study foreign PhD thesis also in their depository, so that you will be getting a broader exposure. When it go for the foreign evaluation also, your thesis will be easy for approval. So most of the scholars, they are having a context in their mind, like if my thesis mentioning like national wide, so there is a no foreign evaluation. But as per the current scenario, compulsory every PhD thesis should be going for the foreign evaluation. This is not the school project or a postgraduate project. You should expose yourself. High standards. High standards of vocabulary and in depth of detail should be represented by in your thesis, so that the scholars will be elevating their work for the past 5 years or by the 7 years, whatever the work they have done. Mostly the PhD thesis are, when you undergone, you will be seeing their experiences. Most of the researchers initially or at the beginning of the research, the first guide will informing to all the scholars, read literature reviews from published journals, magazines, or published thesis. Why they are insisting you is, you need to collect many facts, many evidences, so that your experience will be increased by reading n number of literature reviews which is related to your topic, so that you will be getting in-depth knowledge about your topic. So experience will guide you in a better way. Once you are studying n number of literature reviews, automatically you will be having a bold enough on your thesis. You will be understanding like what kind of elements you have been missed out, because PhD thesis is like your baby. You need to take care of yourself, then only baby will be beautiful. So you need to take more precautionary measures for a beautiful thesis. So in the thesis, you will be having cover pages. Whenever you open that PhD thesis, first you will be having a cover page. After that, we'll be having a declaration by the candidate. I am by declare whatever the facts you have been mentioned. Next, certificate from your supervisor. Your supervisor also certified that yes, he is my scholar and this university has been successfully completed the thesis work. You need to acknowledge to the concerned authorities who are all helped you directly or indirectly. You need to acknowledge them. Now, sometimes what will happen? Abbreviations. Certain terms are, it is very difficult to continue in every time. So you will be using an abbreviations. So in the abbreviation page, you need to mention what is IR, Indian Railways. You need to give that clear abbreviations. List of tables. So what is the content and what is the page number having by the specified table, so that whenever the reviewer want to go for directly specified table, by saying that he will be going there. List of graphs. The graph related the content name and the page number. As usually, the full PhD thesis, you should be write maximum by the within 2 pages of your abstract. So what is this thesis? When you start to read about the newspaper, usually when the people don't have time, they will be see editorial column. So what is the editorial column? The brief information about by the on the specified day of the news. So in the abstract also should be very crystal clear. Not more than 2 pages. You have to be write what you have studied and what could be the result. Next, content page. So chapter one, what is the content? What is the page number? So you need to be mention everything in the cover pages. Sometimes what will happen, some other universities, they will be, if they are getting any permission from any companies, they will be adding the certificate here itself. Or sometimes they will be adding in the last after the bibliography in the column of annexure. That is university pattern. Now we'll look into that main content. I already told you PhD thesis we don't have any specified format. But even though based on the importance, based on the requirements, these are the minimum important chapters. Here I have given the 5 chapters. If you refer to some other PhD thesis, people will have 10 chapters, 12 chapters, more than on that also. But these 5 chapters only they are going to split up as a 12 chapters or more than on that. Now, what is this 5 chapters? First chapter will be talking about introduction. Second chapter, literature reviews, research methodology, data collection, tabulation and analysis, summary of findings, suggestions and conclusion. These are the 5 important chapters which is compulsory for the PhD thesis. Now we'll see one by one. First chapter, introduction. So what we are planning to write in introduction? Introduction of every research, they will be talk first 17 to 20 pages. That also to be required university restriction. Some university they will be saying like the entire PhD thesis should not be exceed 100 to 120 pages. Some universities there is no page limit. So in the introduction chapter, what you will be write? So in the entire topic, I would like to talk about example like employee job satisfaction in Indian Railways. So here the topic is job satisfaction. When I'm talking about job satisfaction, that should be understood by each and everybody. So I will be talk about the fundamentals of the job satisfaction, or I'm going to study about the consumer behavior with the reference to FMCG products or some specified company products, or employee attitude perception before and after acquisition of the specified banking sector. So whatever the topic, here job satisfaction from their consumer behavior and somewhere mergers and acquisition. So what is mergers and acquisition? What is consumer behavior? What is job satisfaction? We need to introduce topic to the audience. So we have to be right clearly about what is job satisfaction or what is the specified concept, where it has been derived, what are the definitions of the specified concept. Concept related, if you have any kind of determination factors, futures, importance of the specified topic, topic related past 50 years back, what is the trend, and the present scenario, what is the trend, you can compare it, you can write it. Or topic related, if you find any kind of theories, any models, or any kind of new concepts, because nowadays we have seen n number of theories on each and every concept. So what are the theories proposed, and the theories were tested by the earlier, and that was proved. For example, job satisfaction related, I'm going to talk about Abramovich Maslow's theory. He was talking about fundamentally everybody should require physiological needs: food, shelter, cloth. After that only they will talk about the safety. If you don't have food and shelter, how can you talk about safety or any other rest of three factors? So they were tested and they were proved, and till the date the theory was valid. So your topic related, if you find any kind of theories or any related concepts, you can write under the introduction chapter. Sometimes your topic related, you want to talk about positive and negative. Comparison time, you are getting positive and negative results, or the concept as derived finally by an evaluation. You can write everything in the introduction chapter. When I was gone through that many PhD thesis, I have seen that in the introduction chapter itself, people will talk about the objectives. I don't know what is the logic behind that. Or sometime in the literature review chapter, they will talk about objectives. Some PhD thesis, they will talk introduction chapter, literature reviews, objectives together as a one chapter. As I already told you, there is no specific format for PhD thesis. According to the your university, according to the your guide, according to your study, the pattern will be decided. But if you follow me in this pattern, there is a logic behind that. Okay, once you prepared introduction chapter, then you will be going for literature review. Again, I would like to tell you one important point. How many chapters you are writing in the PhD thesis? Every chapter you are supposed to be write a brief introduction about the specified chapter. What is this chapter? Why this chapter is important? And the conclusion about the specified chapter. Some universities are they won't be recommended, but of course, which is going to be depending on your supervisor and the university standard. But most of the thesis they will be write each and every chapter, introduction and conclusion. Okay, in the second chapter, we are talking about review of literature. Most of the PhD thesis, they will be called these as a evidence chapter, because here you are going to be collecting your study related published articles. This is very important, and these are evidences for to support your PhD thesis. I usually recommend it to my scholars. Once you start to collect the literature reviews, please collect literature reviews from the standard journals. You are doing research in management, so management related top rated journals in Scopus, Web of Science, or UGC or UGC Care, ABDC, international standards journals. And in those journals, your topic related published papers, you please start to read, so that you will be getting huge ideas about your topic. So mostly you will be having a doubt, sir, my guide is saying like collect 500 reviews, 1000 reviews. How it is possible for me? I'm doing part time or even full time also. My guide told me that to collect 1000 reviews. How it is possible? But according to that international standards, they have mentioned clearly the literature reviews, whatever you are writing in the PhD thesis, it should be minimum 50. Minimum 50. Minimum sometime minimum 50 to 200 between also you can have by the literature reviews. Because why your guide is insisting you like collect 500 or 1000 reviews, all these reviews are more support to the your PhD thesis. When it is go for the foreign evaluation, the examiner should not point out you are not covered this element, so that they are recommending you to collect the more reviews. Or they will be having another mind also. If they say like 1000 reviews, at least you will be collect 50 percentage. See, I would like to tell you one thing: your guide won't tell you anything directly to you. These are indirect signs to encourage the scholars. Now here also you will be having a doubt how to collect literature reviews. So literature reviews you can collect in multiple sources. You can collect from what we call PhD thesis. PhD theses are there. From there you can collect it. You can use for your study, or journals, magazines, government, non-governmental reports are there. From there you can collect it. Here I would like to show you one picture. So you can identify this. These are the various sources where you can able to find out n number of sources of the information. So here I'm giving that fantastic 9 links to the online thesis. So when you go through these websites, you will be getting PhD thesis. So that may related to your topic also. Whereas in India is more very popular, you know about Shodh Ganga. So from there you will be getting PhD thesis. And this is also another source where you can see PhD thesis. So these are the online websites where you can able to use for to collect books. These are all websites. I hope your guide will share with you all these things so that this will be helpful for you. So I'm recommending you here. You can see the books also. Most of the PhD scholars they will be start to collect information from international books. So in the books also you can refer foreign authors that will be giving you a weighted for your thesis. So these are the different searching websites. In India also you know about data.gov. So from there you can get government related or any support or any data you are going to be required, you can be get it. Or if you want to know any latest news, these are the news channels in international wide. So they will be watching you clearly, and the data will be saving over there. You can download the information. You can be use it also. So if in case students are doing any sports management or something else, or somewhere cross-border research or interdisciplinary research, by the time also you can be using this information. And I would like to show you some more data which is really helpful for you. So here you can find out that pre-database. So whereas full text articles you can be get it, journals, ebooks also you can download it, and those data you can be use it. And you know very well about this SCI-HUB. So most of the scholars, they will be facing the same issue like, sir, we are trying to get, or we are trying to see the foreign authors papers, but the problem is the full article was we need to pay the money. But once you have this SCI-HUB, you can type in Google. So whatever the article related, if you have the URL link, you can copy and paste it here so that you can download the full article without paying. So you can go through all these websites so that you will be getting huge data or much more information also, which is really helpful for your research. These are all different sources of information where you can be use it for development of your research. So mostly all the scholars will be having these kind of issues where we need to collect the information. Once we collect the information, how to how to segregate and how we can able to write it. So here I would like to recommend to the scholars how you will be start to read literature reviews. Your guide will tell you like, read full article or the full journals, and then identify the facts and you can start to write it. But here I can recommend to the scholars in the best way, like some top or an important or the base paper for your research. Read the full paper, at least 5 to 10 papers. 5 to 10 papers. Please read full article so that it will be giving you various inputs for your research. And rest of the papers, how you need to study. You can prepare one Excel sheet. In the Excel sheet, you can write author name, name of the journal, what is the objectives of authors in his paper, what is the methodology of in his paper, what kind of statistical tools he has been used, what are all his findings, suggestions, and the published journal related ISN number, volume number, issue number. All this data you can read it. Those points only. You just fill it in the Excel sheet. Automatically what will happen? The article related full information you are studying in detail. Even there is any gap, you can read the abstract of the particular journal so that the gaps will be fulfilled. So by reading like this, you can read per day 30 to 25 research papers easily you can do. Within 10 days, you can collect uh, 300 to 200 papers you can be have in your hand if you do sincerely. So this is easiest way. So by collecting this information, by filling the Excel sheet, automatically what will happen? References also will be conclude then and there. This is easy process. Usually I recommend to the scholars. So while you are studying n number of literature reviews, you will be identifying the variables. This is the common variable which is going to be influencing in all literature reviews. For example, job satisfaction of the banking employee, job satisfaction of the bus employee, job satisfaction of the some railway employee, job satisfaction of the teacher. So when you are studying and when you are studying n number of domains, common element of the job satisfaction, where are these job satisfaction where it is more favorable, more aggressive. So it is aggressive means why it is aggressive. You need to collect the information. Why the government is providing n number of facilities for the people, even though they are not happy. Why? What is the problem in that? I can give an example like one person was doing research on job satisfaction in Indian Railway, especially this focusing on pilots. Usually train driver we will call it as a pilots. So government is giving seventh pay salary for the pilots, but even though people are they are not happy. So why they are not happy? Because he's going in detail. Apart from the money, they are working with the train engines. 500 kilometers, 600 kilometers, they are traveling by sitting in train engine. Heavy sounds, smokes. So health related problems they are getting. They don't have toilet facility inside the train engine. So these are the important elements are making the pilots are dissatisfying their job. But even though we are saying like 16 lakhs employees are working in Indian Railway, they are not happy because salary is not only important element to make them happy, but also they require these facilities. I can give an example like from Chennai to Vijayawada, there is a about Tamil Nadu Express. So which is going to start in Chennai night 10 o'clock that will reach to the Vijayawada by morning 4 o'clock. The journey is something like 7 hours. So once train start from Chennai, it won't be stopped in anywhere. It's a distance of 550 kilometers. If in case pilot want to go any restroom, where he can go. So this kind of some practical problems are there. We need to be to focus on this. If you are not focusing on this, then definitely one day these train pilots will go for strike. So the government has to be resolve the issues then and there. So by studying n number of literature reviews, you are identifying the gap. These are the areas which are not covered by earlier studies. So that gap you need to be identified, and that we are going to call it as a research gap. This is the area which is not covered by earlier studies. You need to come up with the gap. So gap base, you need to prepare your beautiful conceptual model. What are the elements should be required? So the conceptual model, once you prepare, then you will be continue with the research gap, or after the conceptual model, you can have your problem of statement. So why this problem has come? Now, problem based, what is your next step that you need to be mentioned clearly. But this is the second chapter. But most of the PhD thesis, I already told you, first and second chapter together they will be writing, and they will be first chapter itself they will be write objectives. So if you follow me, literature reviews after research gap, after making the conceptual model, after making statement of the problem, then you are writing objectives. So there is a logic of this. You are studying, identifying the problem, based on the problem you are preparing the objective. This is the logic. But without logic, people will be writing directly after introduction about the objectives. But some universities are not, some universities 90% all universities will be refer objectives should be in the first chapter. But if you write like this, there is a sense. Next, third chapter, which is going to be deal about research methodology. This is a crucial topic. It is which is going to be called as a heart of the human body. Equivalently, the methodology chapter is very important to study about your whole work. Methodology is good means your study is good. If you are using the wrong methodology means the entire effort will be waste. So while you are starting about research methodology chapter, you need to study that what is methodology, what is research. Now, how this research methodology topic, which is very close or relevant to the your topic. You need to justify. Next, you should be right need and importance for the study. So most of the scholars they will be write number of pages about the need and importance of the study. But if you are very clear about the research gap, if you are clear about the problem, then you will be able to write why this topic is needed for the current scenario, why this topic is so important for your research. You need to be right. So why it is so needed? Initially, you are supposed to be start with the broad topic. Why you have chosen this topic and why this topic is so important for you. You need to be mentioned by crystal clear, because most of the people they will assault you or kindle you in different ways. Like, this is a school project. Why you are taking this as so important? You need to be justified why this topic is so important for you. Even as on date in India, after completing their courses, mostly this 80 percentage of people they are prefer to go for job only. 80 percentage of people they prefer to go job only. Rest of 20 percentage their own businesses or entrepreneurs or different domains they are going. You should be justify after 50 years, after 60 years also, how your topic will be relevant for the future. Then only people will accept you. Consumer behavior, why we need to study? Because today we have a number of companies. As I know, in social media only by the Orkut when I was a student. But in the present generation, I'm seeing that Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc., channels are very popular. Can you give guarantee for all these channels will be available for after 50 years? No. So we need to take a standard elements. We need to be show very clearly. This same platform may or may not be available. So in future, what kind of advanced things will be coming? You can justify in your topic. So you need to very clear about why this topic is needed and important for you. Second, 2.3 is talking about scope of the study. So most of the scholars will be right. Scope will be very narrow. So usually, being a guide, supervisors, what will suggest you like. So whatever the topic you are focusing, the topic should be narrowed down, and you should be explaining in that. But I will recommend you, when you are writing your scope of the study, please write the scope should be very broader, and then step by step, you should be go for in your study area, so that the new person, whenever he was seeing that your topic, he may understand, may not understand. While you are covering the broad domain, then automatically people will have some knowledge. Even if they don't have knowledge, also they will be reading the introduction chapter and they will come here. But anyway, being a researcher, you should be mentioning very clearly. Topic should be very broader and very difficult for you to do the research in broader areas, so that you are narrowed down. Finally, one particular area you are targeting, that you need to be explaining to the people by very clear. Next, important one, objectives. So most of the scholars, until preparation of the questionnaire, they will be spend the 2 years of time. They will be talking about objectives, how to prepare objectives. As I already told you, you know about research gap, statement of the problem, and based on that, you can find out your variables and you can prepare your strong objectives. So objectives are very, very important. Every objective should be reached to the people, which is going to be representation of the practically what are the problems of the society or by the company or by the any other specified domain. Their problems are crystal clear. It has to be displayed in the objectives. Then only you can give a proper result to the specified objectives. Next one, hypothesis. So every PhD thesis, the people will be having null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. There is no significant difference. Yes, there is a significant difference. Some PhD thesis, what people will do, like they will write only null hypothesis only. So why this hypothesis is, they want to test your objectives. You will talk about positive or you will talk about the negative. By testing with your statistical tools, you will be prove that whether this was favorable to the null or by the alter, that you need to be justify in the concept of the research methodology. Now, usually in management thesis, when we talk about the questionnaire, by the time only we will talk about ethical consideration. You need to get permission from your research advisory committee or doctoral committee, and they will be guide you. So have you used any animals? But mostly in management thesis we don't have, social science only. But whenever you are collecting the information from the respondent, and those information should not be revealed to anybody, because they are giving information by trusting you. If you reveal the information to the company management or somebody else, so there is a some sort of reverse action on those respondents, so that you have to be mentioned very clearly ethical consideration. Whatever information you have collected for your research, it won't be revealed to the anyone. Next, research design. This is an important part. So in the research design, as being a researcher, you know very well, research design means how you are going to be start and how you are going to be finished. Everything should be a pre-plan. And based on your planning, you will be moving about the one by one or by the step by steps. So in the research methodology only, you will be talking about what kind of research you are doing and why you are writing this research. You will be talk all these elements. So under research design, we will talk about methodology. So in the methodology, we will be talk about type of research, doctoral research or non-doctoral research, qualitative research, quantitative research. So what kind of research you are doing in your research? What kind of problem was there? You need to be explained by detail in the methodology concept. Under methodology, you should talk about data collection. So what are the sources of information you are collecting? Mostly the data collection will be secondary sources and primary sources. So primary sources means like you are going to be prepare the questionnaire and you will be going for the survey. You are going to collect the information from your sample domains. So data collection, how you have been collected, that you need to be talk a few lines. Tools for data analysis. So what kind of statistical tools you are planning to use or you plan to use? Because you are already prepared the questionnaire, you know about nominal scale, ordinal scale, and what kind of information is coming and what is the most appropriate statistical tool for your study. And based on that, what are the statistical tools you have been used? Normal regression, multiple regression, same model, ANOVA, chi-square. You need to be mentioned all these tools you have been used for your study. If you want to write in detail, you can write gender differentiation. You are used that frequency analysis or by the chi-square. So like that also you can be give a clear table so that the examiner will be understand clearly these are the statistical tools he has been used for more effectiveness of the thesis, that you need to be list out. But sometimes what will happen, some scholars, what they will do, they will explain you briefly about the specified tools. So I would like to show you here. So I hope it is visible to you. Now here you can see that different data or different statistical tools. For example, mean analysis. So when you are going to use the mean analysis, variation among the two groups of data. For example, I'm doing that a research on lower level management employees, middle level management employees. So these are the two groups. So these two groups related, I would like to know about by the significant differences. So that I'm using mean analysis. So they will be write about briefly about what is mean analysis, what is ANOVA test, what is T test. So there are the two groups and statistical differentiation. So mostly in the PhD thesis, they will recommend you comparative analysis. While you are doing the comparative analysis, like one benchmark or top rated company versus downsize or the recent grown up company. So when you compare with that, you will be identifying by the much more differences. So that will be helpful for the developing companies or undeveloped companies. So test factor analysis, multiple regression. So I have given the source also. So wherever you are collected the information, we need to give that the statistical tools related information also to the concerned authorities. So that ultimately what will happen, they will be also will be understanding, okay, this is a statistical tool, this is most relevant to the study, so that the researcher has been used this. So this will be guiding for the unknown person, because mostly your research will be studying by unknown person only. By the time of presentation, only the examiners, they are who are all experts in their specified domain, they will be adjudicating your thesis, but mostly your thesis will be studying by the unknown people, so that they should be understand your full thesis. It should not be feel any difficulty in that. Next, instrument used. Whenever you are doing the research, everybody will have different sort of instruments. So what is your instrument for your research? Mostly HR, marketing, other social science, they will be using questionnaire as an instrument. By using the questionnaire, they will be collecting the n number of informations. Now these information will be used for the analysis. Or if in case you are using any other new tool or any kind of new instrument where you are going to collect the information, you need to be explained here. So usually when once we are preparing by the questionnaire, usually your supervisor will recommend you please go for the pilot study or testing of your questionnaire. So in the pilot study, we will be randomly selecting in your not exactly your sample, deviating your sample, some 50 members or some 100 members. We are giving the questionnaire and we are start to collect the information. Now, any question was duplicate. Any question was duplicate, or question was not in proper order, or really the respondents was comfortable or not. You need to check through the pilot study. So mostly we will talk about the pilot study, what kind of difficulties having by the respondent. So all these information we are going to write up under the pilot study. Second one, modifications in instrument. Once your pilot study was got over, whatever the suggestions, inputs which are all given by the respondents in the pilot study, and those inputs will be added. Like question sequence was not good, or two questions were repeated, different suggestions we are going to get through the pilot study. All those things we are trying to do modifications in the instrument. After modifications everything was done, then only we will go for the sampling process. But most of the scholars they have been asked me one question: we have to do validity and reliability test for the questionnaire. Yes, which is going to be required and double check for your questionnaire. It has come 0.8, 0.7, really good. Your test, your questionnaire validity and reliability, really good. So here, sometimes your research is very relevant to the somebody research. You are taking their questionnaire for your research. That is nothing was wrong. You can use it, but you need to go for according to your objectives, validity, reliability test, pilot study. You can do it. If it is everything is good, you can use the same questionnaire. But you need a concrete result. Your questionnaire is relevant to your objectives. And then sampling process. Then we are start to collect the information from our sample. So most of the people they were having a doubt, sir, how much of sample we need to collect? I will recommend if the population is 100, your sample should be minimum 30%. If it is population is 100, your sample is 30. Sometimes you may say like unknown population. We cannot able to define the population. By the time I would like to recommend them, please take a solid number. That also you need to follow by different rules and regulations, and you need to cover by the all the domains, all the areas, and then you can start to do your research. Like 700 or 800 sample you can do. Okay, selection of study area. So in the selection of study area, we need to write about which company you are targeted. Sometimes you are doing research on company base. Sometimes generally also you are doing your research. While you are talking about specified company, you can write briefly about the company and the company related any other information you want to give, you can give it. And before you are writing about company name, please remember get permission from the company higher officials. Get concrete support from the management of the specified company. Without support from them, you should not be use the names. Most of the researchers they will be mentioning like one top rated manufacturing company, or the companies are who is having net profit more than 5 crores. We have selected the 5 companies. In the topic they won't mention about the company, but in the selection of study area they will write about the 2-3 company names also sometime. So by the time you should be very clear about to get permission from the companies when you are writing the topic. Next, population. I already told you the total employees of the specified area what you have been selected. Based on that, you need to select your population. For example, I'm choosing one company, the company population is 1000. Don't go because you are doing 5 years of effort for the sake of benefit of the 1000 people. That is not at all good, and moreover your sample also will be coming like 300. This is not at all favorable. Your research should be helpful for the entire society. So broader area, multiple people should be enjoying the benefit or whatever the efforts you have put it. So that you will be choose broader population where the topic will be helpful for the n number of people. So that kind of broader topic you can choose it. I recommend like you choose the broader topic only. Next, statistical tools you have used. So generally we are talking about the fourth chapter only, like what kind of statistical tools we are having and what is the result of each and every statistical tool. But if you want to write, you can write it briefly. Otherwise, you can just skip this one. Next one, sample size. So total population sample size should be good. If you are choosing 70, 100, 170, 200, that is just like a post graduation project. Please choose a solid number so that your thesis will have a more weightage. So you can skip this one also if you want to skip. Tools used. So what kind of statistical tools you have used it? You can write it briefly here or you can skip it. Last one, thesis plan. So how many chapters you have? First chapter, what you are talking, you can write in 3 to 4 lines. Next one, important chapter, data collection, tabulation, and analysis. Now in this chapter, data collection and tabulation, we have to write very clearly about the introduction. So what kind of research you are doing, what kind of tools you are using, and it is what kind of results you are expecting to get. So you can give that brief about this data collection chapter. Next, you can talk brief about how many group of employees or what is your population, what is your sample, what kind of tools you have been used it, have you used any nominal and ordinal scale. So your test was related to the null or null or alter. So you need to give each and every objective related how many questions you have been make it. I will recommend generally every objective related at least you please have 10 questions. Every objective related you can have 10 questions with the multiple variables so that you will be covering in the multiple areas, n number of information you will be getting. So once you collect the information, you should be properly organize your chapters. Table related, I have seen some PhD thesis people will write the first objective related all the variables, all the questions, every question, result related, they will check with the hypothesis and they will write the inference. So what I would like to recommend you here, the inference people will write just like that. Inference should be give an input for the future. Inference has to give the lead for finding. For example, I can see like the employees who are all working in bus stands or government bus stands or by the Indian Railways or by the airlines. I can give that more information like when compared to male, female ratio is very, very low. I can give conclusion like males are 70 percentage, female is 30 percentage. That's it. That should not be good. you need to give that lead. So the mostly the travel or the specified industry, people need to travel from one place to another place, which is really difficult for the females. So that which is these industries are mostly suitable for the male. Females are less occupancy rate of employment. I would like to recommend to the management, you can encourage more females in administrative work. So like that, you need to give that more inference so that you can take it as a lead, as a finding of your study. So in the finding chapter, whatever the uh, what are the data, whatever inference you have been identified, that inference you can write it as a finding here. Now finding base, you can give your suggestions. Next one, scope for further research. You need to mention like this is the research which was done by the me. So if in future, if anyone want to do the research, I can help you in these domains. You need to give a future directions for furthermore researches. So in the last one, we know very well the bibliography. So in the bibliography, people will use different standards. Mostly in India, we are using APA, American Psychology Association. In some universities, they will be having like MLA, Modern Language Association. Till the date, some central universities, they are encouraging footnote. Some universities are, they are encouraging after completing each and every chapter, then and there they need references. So, which is completely depending on the management of the company. So last we are having questionnaire. If you have any company certificate, you can add it. So I hope this video will be helpful for you. Thank you. If you want to WhatsApp me anything, you can have my contact number like 877-857-6636. You can WhatsApp me if in case you require any assistance. Thank you.